Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And before we get into this video, I want to announce today's winner. That man is Mr. Charles Loudon. He's one of the regular contributors to the comments and that. But I've been struggling recently to find a name for the dear leader of the SNP, ever since he announced that he would be flying the EU flag on buildings every day, but the Union flag only once a year. It occurred to me that he is a treacherous turd, and we need to find a better name. And I won't speak his own name. It has slipped out. I don't mean it to. Charles Loudon, you are, sir, a genius, and we thank you because we have now got the name by which we will address this treacherous turd. And that is, from now on, he's Ali Baba with his 40 thieves. I think that just works absolutely perfectly. So from now on, of course, from this moment henceforth, we refer to the leader of the SNP as Ali Baba. I think I'm happy. And now we have a story about Ali Baba, because Ali Baba is in a lot more trouble than even he realises. There are murmurings afoot, and there are whisperings of rebellion in the ranks. Let's have a look. So, here we go. There he is, Ali Baba, facing SNP rebellion over his flawed tax plans, which will punish hard-working people. The First Minister could fall to a humiliating budget defeat if just 6 nationalist MSPs vote against his plans to tax middle-class Scots even more to combat his £1.5 billion black hole. Now, it's going to be way more than £1.5 billion. We know it's going to be at least £2 billion, if not 2.5. It is a lot bigger than they're trying to fob off on people. It really is. And we've done that picture before where they're not actually touching each other because they really don't like each other at all. But look, let's just pretend. Yeah, bless. So Ali Baba is facing down an SNP rebellion over his controversial tax hikes as more nationalist MSPs spoke out against them. The First Minister is understood to be set to announce an additional tax band for some Scots high earners, which will see them pay 45% on earnings between 75 and 125,000. Now, this not only will not actually raise anywhere near the numbers he thinks, and certainly nowhere near the numbers he needs, but it may even end up costing money. It may even actually reduce the tax take overall. But of course, he won't understand that because he's not very bright. He doesn't understand how things work. He doesn't foresee the law of unintended consequences? Because, that takes a little bit of brain power, and he is a bear of very little brains. Senior SNP figures have publicly criticised these proposals, and they can even vote against them when they come to Holyrood. Formidable rebel Fergus Ewing was the latest to blast them, joining former Finance Secretary Kate Forbes in doing so, and we did the video yesterday evening, showing that Kate finally agreed with me. I'm not saying she watches my videos. It's nice if she does. But she was of the same opinion as I that it is a really bad idea. Because it is. It's a terrible idea. It's what you expect from an idiot, though, isn't it? He told the Scotsman, this is Fergus, told the Scotsman, the new band will punish many hard-working people. Some have already told me, what is the point of working harder when such a large share of earned income goes to the government? He says, in addition, I know that very many well-paid people earning millions choose England as their tax domicile. If they have a London flat, as many do, this is easy to do. And for these reasons, the tax proposals are flawed and will damage the economy. And as Kate Forbes argues, they may also not yield much revenue. They're not going to. Everyone who can take any kind of avoidance will do so. The thing is, if they're pushed to take the avoidance on just this little bit, they'll take the avoidance on the whole thing, and that will reduce the tax take significantly across the country. It's a function. He said the alternative approach is surely to prune back on spending in many ways, including much of this madcap, impractical, unaffordable green fantasies masquerading as policy. Quangos, commissioners, overmanagement in public services. These are all things that many constituents say to me should be subject to proper cost controls and scrutiny. Certainly, demanagise, take out half the management layers and you find that things will still work. But also, yes, all the green stuff and all that doesn't really need to work. But all the independence costs, that's the big one. Alibaba and his finance secretary, 86, need to plug a 1.5 billion black hole and want to raid Scott's pockets once again. This is despite analysis from Fraser of Allender Institute, which found that adding an income tax band for higher earners would be nowhere near sufficient to balance the books in the coming financial year. It won't. It's going to be an appallingly bad idea, like I say. Senior SNP MSP Michelle Thompson, another bonkers one, also joined in the growing criticism as she claimed it would create the perception that Scotland was not open for investment. An anonymous Nat dubbed the policy as potentially being Scotland's Trussonomics moment, referencing the economic policies of Prime Minister Liz Truss, who lasted 44 days. Now, Alibaba's lasted a lot longer than 44 days, but if he starts bringing this in, he could be out in 44 days. This could be his only Christmas as leader. We want to hope. It could lead to a big headache for the First Minister, as only 6 MSPs, SNP MSPs, are needed to rebel over the tax ban for the budget to fail, and even if the Scottish Greens support it. And this would be a humiliation for Alibaba and could spell the end of his reign. Woohoo! So of course everybody is going to vote against this. The Greens might not, because they might think, God, if we get rid of him, we're going to have Kate Forbes, and they absolutely loathe Kate Forbes because Kate Forbes is not prepared to put up with their BS, is she? Anyway, already anyone making more than 28,000 in Scotland pays more tax than their English counterparts, and someone on a salary of about 50,000 is paying about £1,500 more in income tax. An increased tax divide could force more Scots to leave the country or to move their tax base south of the border, and it's easy enough to do. Questions have been raised about how much money the tax band will actually raise. Very little. With the Scottish Trade Union Congress claiming it will make about 92 million a year. Not a chance in hell. No way will it make that. Economists even at the Fraser of Allender believe it could actually raise as low as 39 million due to behavioural changes. I think it could even raise lower than that. I think it could even be a loss maker. The government is facing huge bills due to public sector pay sector deals. Now, they kept pushing, oh, look at us, we're not getting strikes. Here, have as much money as you want. No strikes here, more money. Whereas in England, they got strikes because the government said, we're not paying you that much, get out of here. And they arranged and they striked. Anyway, they got the deals in the end, but it was a much lower rate than what's paid in Scotland. Well, that's great, you can offer them what they like, but if you can't afford to pay it, it's not much use, is it? The government is facing huge bills, blah, 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 and also much greater social security spending, as well as the SNP conference promises of a council tax freeze, and a £100 million pledge to tackle the NHS waiting lists. This council tax freeze is already being challenged, even within the SNP now, because it is quite simply unaffordable. And it's another billion on top of the £1.5 billion. And it's just money left, right and centre that they think that they just grows on trees or something. They think if they announce it and they haven't got it, that Westminster will step in. Westminster's already given billions and nobody knows where it's gone. They won't be inclined to give you any more. You need to grow up, smell the coffee. Unbelievable, isn't it? It's wake up and smell the coffee. But anyway, grow up and pull your knickers up. That's the other one. But yeah, it's just not going to happen. These people are delusional. Anyway, I'll stop there, come up and round off. Now, if it only takes 6 to defeat this budget, and that could strike the end of Alibaba, then I'm pretty sure, given the fact that she's been doing her manoeuvring lately, that Kate Forbes is going to vote against this bill. I think Fergus will join her. That means they've only got to find 4 more. Imagine, if you will, that she's got these 4 and possibly a few more, and they defeat the budget. That will be a big kick in the face to the leader, who will then be in a very, very precarious position. And I think that's when Kate Forbes will lead the charge to force an election, force him out and become leader. I think this is the issue. I think she's been biding her time, waiting for the issue, and this is the issue. And I think this is the hill that she'll die on. I think this is the one that she's going to stick to her guns. I think she's probably got the numbers. And I think she's going to go for it. So I do expect this bill to be defeated. I think the budget will fail. That's my reading. I mean, I could be completely wrong, of course. It is only speculation. But I think this is the golden moment. I think Kate has timed it, and this is her push for leadership. This will be great to watch. Do please hit the subscribe button. You don't want to miss this. There we go. Thank you very much for watching this video. We'll keep very close control and watch on this one. But until next time, stay safe, stay well, and I will speak to you later. Bye.